Afternoon everybody, welcome to the Flower Patch. My name's Iris Smith, where I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Welcome guys, I hope that you're all right. And if you're in the UK, I hope you're having a wonderful day with the sun being out, and it's going to be quite higher than normal in the temperatures. Usually, I know across the pond you work in the opposite temperature read in the nose. We say like if it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit, then it's 50 degrees Celsius. So today we have got 23 degrees Celsius, and I don't know what I don't know what that is without checking on my Google, converting the temperature, but it's higher than normal, so it's a lovely day. So everybody's getting all the washing out and making sure it's all, lovely and dry and smelling fresh. So today I had a private message last night of a lovely lady saying that she loved the hanging basket that we did. She reckons it looked really realistic, and she'd like to know if we could do an indoor vase arrangement, and in any colour. So the lady says she does a lot of small wreaths and things like that, but she wants to make something for herself in a vase arrangement. So that's what we're going to do. So today I've already placed in the foam, and I've placed on some artificial moss on top, which you can get from Kerry's Wreaths for All Occasions. She does sell it. She has it imported from America over to the UK, and I've got some here what I purchased from her. And what I've done at the bottom, I'll lift it up. There's the moss. I've got an inch lip, or an inch higher of the foam, higher than the actual vase, or vase as you may say, but it's slightly higher, so I may want to place a few things around here. But I have covered it in artificial moss. You can use the wreath wrap. I do usually use that, but today I just thought, oh, let's put a little bit of artificial moss on. So at the bottom I have packed it with, let me just get one, oddments of foam, of dried foam like that. I've just placed in quite a few at the bottom till I got to about this height. Once I got to this height, then I placed in a full block of foam. I placed it across the top and pressed it onto the top of the vase or the plant pot, so it would leave a mark underneath, and then I cut around that. And then what was left of the foam, I did the same on this side, and there was just a little bit of a piece here what needed to be, so I just got a little oddment that I've got and pushed that in as well. And then after I did all that, and I haven't glued the foam in, so once I'd put all the foam in, I used some old floral stems, and I pushed these all the way to the bottom. I'm trying to hold it without dropping it because it's ceramic. All the way to the bottom, through the center of each foam, to hold it to the oddments, the scraps of foam at the bottom. So the top foam will just attach to that. And then it was slightly came up a little bit here, so then I just cut it in on with the level of the foam. And that's what you can do instead of gluing in your foam into a plant pot. You can just place in, or an indoor plant pot, you can place in your floral stems and push them right to the bottom, and then just snip them at the top with, if they're sticking out a bit. And that is it. And then I've placed the moss on, and I use floral pins, or as we call them over here in the UK, moss pins, or some people call them U pins or floral pins. It doesn't matter. They're the same thing. And that's what I did to hold the moss down. So that is, and this is a 7-inch. That's odd. Let's have a look. I say 7-inch. What's it say on here? Oh, it doesn't. Just says in plant pot. But this is like a 7-inch. It's an odd size, but it's nice. So we're going to do that. And I'm now, when you're doing plant pots, this is another one of those fantastic things you can create using your scraps. And it's a great way to get rid of your scraps and not have them hanging about, or leftovers, whichever you call them. So that's what I'm going to do. We use this, was going to use this in the hanging basket, which is now outside on my garden. We was going to use this boxwood, what are my scraps, but we didn't. So I want to see if I can incorporate those into this plant pot. I've been in my scraps bucket, guys. I've got some of this wispy just grass and with little spiky bits on. I've just got about, this looks like 4 stems there. I don't know what I can see, but we've got that. So I'm going to add those in. We saw this ivy yesterday, what I was going to put in the hanging basket, but didn't. So I'm going to incorporate that. And also, I've got some laurel. What are my bigger leaves? Again, I want to incorporate thinner or smaller leaves with bigger for the contrast as well as the texture. And some of these laurels have got a little bit of red in them, and some are just green with like a tiger stripe really, but limey green in the center. So these are scraps as well, so we're going to use those. Now these aren't scraps, these are my fern, very fine, guys, and the stems are exceptionally thin, so they can sometimes be a bit difficult to push into your foam, but we will show you how I do it. So that's that fern. I'm not sure which one, but these come in single stems in a pack. So I think I bought a pack of 20. Oh, one's upside down. 20, and I bought several packs, so I just placed them all together. And I've also got out some of my Boston fern, which I've got one fresh bunch, and the other one I've got, and I've pulled them off the actual bunch and placed quite a few, if I can get it out, quite a few on my own single picks, so I can dot them around more easily. So we've got those. Now I've got some scraps of my salvia in pink, 3, 4, oh, there's 7 there. So some scraps left over, what I put on picks. So we're going to use that. I've got out some of our, I always get, now this may be is it rosemary? It might be rosemary. Or could it be the shikibi? Let's have a look at the shikibi one. Sorry, guys. I've got that much. Or it might be that, no, it's rosemary. So I've got some rosemary. I've got one fresh bunch in here again, and the others are scraps. So I've just placed the fresh bunch in case took one fresh bunch out, in case I'd like to just place the one fresh bunch in the center. If not, then the scraps I got out my bucket, I've placed together with them and just put a band around them to keep them together. Now here are some more scraps that were in my bucket. Some wispy things, I'm not sure how many is here, but we'll work with what we've got. But here's just a few little wispy bits. You know me, guys, I love my wispy bits. So we've got these as well. And for our floral, here's some little daisies. Again, these are scraps, 3, 4, 5, oh, there's 7 of those as well. Some little daisies. I'm trying to get rid of my scraps, so what a better option than to do it. So we've got some little white daisies. I've got a few scraps out of my bucket that I placed my Cosmos on single picks, but then I brought out a few stems of the full Cosmos spray as well, in case I may need a few more. But the others I've just got placed them on single picks. And then I've got, now these are little cabbage roses. These are not scraps, but they are like in a, now they're more like a corally colour. So I'm going to, use them because they're a smaller flower to our peonies. These are fresh stems, they're new. These are not scraps, but I wanted to do a coral colour with white. So as you can see, I've got, these are the larger flowers. They do come with a few buds on, but they're the larger flowers. Let's have a look at the size. They're more like the medium size. They're sort of like bordering on the medium. If I put them in size order, medium size as well. And then the small flower. So I've gone from small, medium to large in the flower size. So I've got different size of floral as well as done the same with my foliage. So I'm going to bring the camera down. Let's move the floral here. And this is another project as well where you can start with your foliage. Some people do it different ways. I was taught to start with foliage and then add in the floral. So I may do that today, because sometimes with a plant pot arrangement, I find if you do like the hanging basket, get around the edge done, but then you'll, the correct way I was taught. It's not, I'm not saying it's the right way, not now, because I was taught many years ago, but we'll try and do it the way I was taught. You may find that easier, or again, there's no right and wrong way, guys. Place them in as you feel, more comfortable doing it. No matter what, they will always still come out looking absolutely divine. So let me just have a quick drink of this coffee my son's made me. And we're going to bring our camera down. I feel great today because it's a lovely sunny day. I feel that when there's always clouds, wind, rain, it makes you feel a little bit, but when the sun's out, it's like you've got a boost of energy. So must be the vitamin D from the sun. So let's get it down. You can, if you want, add a ribbon, or a bow, should I say, into your arrangement. That's also entirely up to you. I decided to buy some different ribbon, the same, I'll show you, different colours, but the same texture. Now these are RG ribbons. Oh, apart from one's a deluxe and the others are RG. We'll just start and show you. Now, I'm not usually one for this sort of ribbon, but I love the white raised pieces on. It's like a woven effect. And I loved that white, like speckly raised, pattern in it. So I've just purchased these and I went crazy. And I thought, I've got to have a few different colours in these, guys. I can't just choose one. So I went for, these are all, that's a 7/8 in the lilac colour. This one is a 7/8 in a brown. I'll do the RG. This is a 1.5 inch in the cream colour. And they've all got the white raised, and you can feel it raised as well on the material. And this one is like I'd say like a sea blue or ice blue. And then the deluxe brand is a 7/8, which is in like more of a bit of a, I'd say a darker pink. That it's darker than the baby pink. So I've gone and got different colours because that would go great with Easter or anything like that. and so would them. They would go together, beautiful for Easter. Now these I wanted because these, I mean, these would be all year round, but wouldn't they go beautiful in autumn time? And I just was thinking ahead and thinking, oh yes, they would go super in autumn. But you can mix and match. You could, if you wanted the cream with the lilac, or the cream with the pink, or even those. Doesn't that look pretty? So I went a bit crazy, guys, and thought I've got to have all different colours in as well. So I just thought I'd share that with you. And I also did get this is a 25 yard roll. It's a 7/8. I'm not sure what the brand name is, but I got it from the same lady. She had them shipped over from America. I was looking at the Nancy Brown ribbons as well, but look at that. That's like a sage green with a tone of blue in it. I think that is pretty. So I got that, and then I got this one. I'm not really sure about this one, but I thought I'm gonna get it. So this one is an RG ribbon, 10 yard at 2.5 inch, and it's got lovely, we call it what is it, the chamazere look, and I think that is really pretty, and that would go absolutely beautiful with something like that, or maybe even that, or a darker blue what's on there, or you could use it with the cream. So I went and got those as well. I had to. They were crying out for me. That's what I say to my husband. They was all crying out for me. So I just wanted to share that with you and show you the raised ribbon. And again, I'm not usually go for that sort of a pattern, but it just hit me in the face, and I thought, I've got to have some of that. I really need some of that. So Kerry, who sells it, who has it imported from America, she sold it to me. The way she was explaining it, it was great. And that was what made me think I need it. So let's get back to our pom-pom. I hear you all saying. Right, so first of all, because I've got these longer pieces, I've only got 4. They're all different sizes in the ivy. Some are smaller than others. We are going to add some coming down. Again, it doesn't mean to say because it's a plant pot you've got to have everything up above. You can have some wispy bits just hanging to show that the plant is, you know, has spread within growth. So all I do, put the glue on the end, and I glue through the moss. Now, be careful that you don't do, especially you new beginners who are not sure, that you don't place on too much glue as you're pushing it through the moss, because obviously the glue will hit the moss first. If I show you, it will go and touch the moss first, so then the glue is going to go onto the moss. So if you put lots and lots of glue on, you will have a white patch on the outer side here of glue, dried glue. So just, you know, just bear that in mind. So when I do anything with moss, I don't put a lot of glue, too much glue on. Not, you know, especially if it's a house plant or a house or an arrangement for in the house. And even with this ivy, you don't have to have them coming straight down. You can tilt it to make it look, because ivy grows and attaches anywhere. We all know this. So you can bend it, make it look realistic, and make it bend around a court, you know, around the side, to make it look like it's heading towards where the light is. And you can just add that little bit of extra movement, what sets it off and makes it look really pretty. Oops, I've just pulled a leaf off. Oops, was it on there? Oh no, I've broke it. I've broken it. Right, so let's have a look if it's got any spare prongs. No. So let's take that bit of glue. So I'm going to cut that. So just, you know, have fun with it, with your ivy. I'm going to do, shall I do one in the middle? Because that's really thin, I'm going to double up here. So I've just placed, looks like I'm placing 3 in. So we've got our ivy in where it's just slightly turning around the vase. Let's have a look which one I want to place in. Now I'm going to place a bit of the boxwood in to start with. And I'm going to bring some just coming out. I could bring it here, but then it would be touching the surface. So I'm going to place them from the top so they're not coming out as much. And then just bend it over and let it just hang by itself. I wonder if I've got any smaller stems. Not really. And then I'm just going to bend that out so it's not sticking together. Do the same here. And when I place, they look like they're just sticking out horizontal at the moment. But once I start placing things in, they will go down like that. So I'm not too worried about the positioning at the moment. So I will be adding some more in. So we're going to put those aside. I just wanted to get those there first. If you don't have any laurel or anything like that, you could use rose leaves. You could use calais. Oops, what was that? You know, you could use absolutely anything like that. Now, I'm going to put the laurel in. Where you see the obviously the gaps on the plant pot, I don't want the laurel like that because this one is hanging quite low. So I'm going to place it so it's like hanging down instead of vertical, horizontal. I want it going vertical, this leaf. So we're going to place it in there. Let's just, and I'm going to go, because these are not exactly long stems. So we're going to make it vertical. And we're going to do the same with this one. And I'm going in between the ivy. And let's get another one. And then do it here also. Because again, I want some bigger leaf. On the outer side. And I've got this rest of the laurel, which I'm going to leave. Stay there. Oh, my cat's here, guys. Stay there. I know what you like. You're going to lie on everything, and I don't like it. So I've also got these wispy foliage that I want to, I can push these right down. So this is where I will now start and go in here and spread them around. So they're going in all different directions, not just the same direction. I mean, if it can't be helped, that's okay. No worries. And I'm going to do here. Oops, I think that one's just popped off. And then I'm going to do one here. So they are at the top. Now I've got this big one left where I can cut this down. Let's have a look. One, two. And I've got 2 pieces left. I could just add them in there to just give it a little bit more of the full looking wispy bits, what will fall in direction. So that is how we have it at the top. Now fern. Now I want to see if it's, I may put a bit of both of the fern in, a bit of the finer one, just for that looks pretty. So we may place a bit in. So I'm gonna again now start placing some of this finer fern. And as I said, it's, the leaves are, the stems are exceptionally thin. So if you pushed it into a hard foam, because there's different types of foam, especially the styrofoam's harder than this grey foam, bend it over or add a pick on, or you know, or put it around a pick for a bit more support. Bend it over like that, or you could, I've got these small picks here, what I saved from where I cut. Let me just off. And then I would just dip it in a bit of glue, or use your glue gun, place it on the stem of the fern like that. Get a bit of floral tape, wrap that around where that you've just got the glue on the stem, and then just go down the pick, and then you have more support on that pick. So then you can dip that in there, and I'm going to place one here. Again, I'm at the top, placing one here. I'm going to place 3 in, like the triangular position at the top. 2, 3. And I'm going to do the same process, you know, adding a little pick. That's why I say, if you cut things off, save it, guys. Save the stem, because it comes in really handy for things like this. I mean, if you have a pick machine, that would be fantastic. But if you don't worry about it. You can always add your own picks. So again, with this one, I'm going to go in the triangular position. So I'm going to place this one here, and then the other one, I'll add at the top as well. So I've gone here. So I now need to go here to make the triangular position out of the ferns. And then just, if you want, just give it a little bend so it's leaning over. Excuse me. So there's the triangular position, or there, however you wish to look. So that's there. So I want to now add in a few of the fern around the sides. And I'm going to go in between these ones that I've placed in. So I need another 3, 2, 3. So let's place those there. 2, 3. And we just do the same process. I'll move the vase in case you couldn't see what I was doing. Dip my pick, place it with a bit of glue to the top, or should I say where the last leaf is. Then get your floral tape, wrap it around a little bit of glue so it sticks to that glue and doesn't come off. And then just go round. Straighten it, so that's one. These sort of ferns I find are really pretty for weddings. I've got some asparagus fern as well on sprays that I use for my other business. I had a lady asking where to look, messaged me on YouTube last night, where to find my other business. And I told her it was on Facebook. It's UK delivery only. I don't think I told her that bit, but it is. And again, for those who don't know, it's called Leafy Luxuries, Florist Supplies, and all I do is sell greenery. I've only just started out, guys, so I haven't changed. I've got a delivery actually coming today. I've ordered 3 different things, but I haven't changed the foliage or anything to different ones, apart from obviously today there'll be 3 new added ones, because it's just a new business. I'm not really getting things sold, so but okay then. Right, so where these ferns are, here and here, I'm going to go further down now at the bottom and place it in between as well. And that's what I'm going to do again here. Just got to make sure it's the right way, because there is a top and a bottom, or underneath to it, a back and a front. I don't know. I'm just thinking of anything to say about how to describe it. So we've now got that fine fern there as well. So we'll hold on to that. Again, I do have this fern. Let's just add some of our rosemary. And I'm going to add this again for different texture. Oh, I just pulled one off. Oh, it's caught around the stem. These ones click back on. Right, so I've chopped a few, well, I say chopped a few when I did my last project and didn't use them. So I'm going to be placing some of these around the sides as well. So I'm going to be going, because I've got quite a few of these, what I've cut down. I'm going to be going and placing them either side of each of the ivy. And then just slightly tilt them so they've got a little bit of bend. And again, this is just adding a little bit extra and getting rid of your scraps, which I find, oh, I've got glue around my finger, which I find is fabulous. I love doing anything, any project like this where I can use my scraps, because it is, honestly guys, it is a great help to get rid of some of your scraps. As you probably all know. And we'll get this one in. So we've got quite a few spiky textures. How many have I got left? I'm going to bring a few in between the ones I just placed, but bring them up. On top. So we will need to make sure that we've got some fuller solid leaves instead of all airy leaves. So I'll keep those there for now. We've got the rest of the laurel, but what I'm going to do before I go any further, I'm going to start adding in our floral. Now, these are pretty. Let's take these tags off. Oh, if you can, you can't just pull them off. Now they come a large, medium and head, and then also a bud on each. So let's just start with those to start with. Now, do I cut them or do I leave it as one and then just spread it? Oh, it's a hard decision. Let me see. Do I? I don't know. Something's telling me for the centre one, leave it as it is. So I'm going to just stick this full one in the centre. Keep going down till I'm happy with the height. I think. I'm just spreading the floral so they're not all leaning in the same direction. Let's bring it down a little bit more. do I put the other one here? Let me just stand above it so I can see. Yeah, I'm going to add the other one. And I'm going to bring that here. And I'm making sure that the big flower head isn't next to it on the same side. So I'm bringing this big flower head, if I can just get it in, on the opposite side. As you can see, the two medium heads are directly opposite each other, and the two buds are also directly opposite, diagonally opposite each other. So that is what I was creating. So let me place in, I'll wait a moment. No, we need to place in the cosmos or something first. A bit of white. So I'm going to get one white cosmos and place it in between. It's not as high as the cabbage, the peonies. I'm just going to place it there. Just something white around the sides of it. And then I've got these left. I've got a one bud here. So I'm going to bring some of this cosmos now down here. Right, let's just move it. And I'm going to do like the triangular position with the cosmos. If you can see here, here, and then down here. So there's your triangle. So then I'll move on to the next one for the cosmos. I'll use this one and this one. And then go further down, just lower down with this cosmos. And I've created a triangle here as well. And I'll turn it again. I'll use that one and that one to go down here to create that triangle. And then I'll do the same with this one and this one to create that triangle. And by doing it like that in the triangular position, you are spacing your florals out correctly, because they're balanced. There's not too many on one side here and less here. They're all spaced out equally, and also they're all creating that triangle position. So the placement of them is where you have spread them equally along your arrangement. Now I've got two here. I'm not going to use those. I don't want to disrupt the placement of them. So then now we have these little ones of smaller head, and where you see this cosmos here and here again, I'm going to go where the laurel is and place one here. And I'm going to do the similar thing with that as well. So we're just going to go where that laurel is here and place it in between these two. And then I'll move it around, and in between these two I will add in one here. Then in between these two I will add in another one. So it's this one and this one. So we'll add in one here. And I'm placing the stems in at a diagonal position. I'm not going vertical and then bending them. By placing them in a diagonal position to start with, they will then automatically just bend over and look like they're leaning. So then we'll use this one and this one. And we'll place, as you can see, I'm going in like that. And we'll just place it there. So then you've got them all placed in the correct, again, spacing. I want to look for one where it's not got in much. So now you see where I've placed these. So I can easily, if I wish, go in between here and here and just place one slightly higher up, or bring one further down, because you've got these up here, your peonies. So bring these further down. You can add more peonies up above if you wish. So you're going in between this one and this one, but then you're going at the bottom and push it in a little bit more. So you've now got your triangle position with those, and that's where you're correctly spacing it out. And then do the same here and here. So bring this one bring that leaf back so I don't move it. So now you've got your triangle with those there, and that's all you keep looking for, is how to make a triangular position with your florals, especially when doing an arrangement like this, because then it gives you your correct spacing. So there you go again, here, down, up. And I'll do the same. There's two. So I'll go down here where the laurel is. And we'll place that there. So across, down, back up. So there's the placing on those. And again, if you wish, you could bring it up higher. And if you like, where you've got, let me think, 1, 2, 3, where you've got that one here, you could bring this one up here. So then you form in your triangular shape here up to the top. But I'm going to hold back with those few for now. And I'm wanting to put in our salvia. Now, how many have I got again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, and I'm using something long like this because everything's round headed and all, you know, the floral head. So I'm using the salvia. If you haven't got a salvia, use lavender or a stilby, things like that. But I'm using something long in the floral, so it's not all just small round heads. It's also giving off that that volume, and also that, you know, it's pretty at the same time. So I'm gonna go to start here. Again, I've only got 7. I have got some more, but I'm gonna go above here, in between these white. Well, I want to place 3 in, if I'm being quite honest, and have 4 around this side. So if we place 3 in at the top, let's place 3 in. So we're going to do the triangular position at the top. Again, always think about the triangular position. So there's another one. So I've got a cross. So now I need the point of the triangle. So we'll go here, as well. So there's the triangular position of the salvia. So now I've got 4 left. I can bring these 4 around the sides, you know, as though to give them that look that they're flowing from top to bottom. Or I could go in between the salvia here and make another triangular position. Then I'll be left with one which I could easily place in the top. So if we do that again, we'll stick to our triangular position. So you've got here and here. So go underneath, lower position, and have it sticking out like that. Turn. You've got here and here. So again, lower down, sticking out. Here and here, lower down as well and sticking out. And so I've brought those around. I'm going to place this one at the top in the center. If I want, I could get some more and I could bring that lower down here. Or I think, let's have a look. I may get either a different white or a different shade of or tone. Let's have a look. Or do I stick with the same tone? Oops, I've just spent one. Let me just get a stem out. Where were these from? Oh, it doesn't say. But there's the actual spray that you get. So I could easily, let's pull one off, get a pick, glue my own pick in, and I may want 3. So let's take 3 off. Oh. And I'm putting them on longer picks just in case I want them sticking out a little bit more instead of as depth. And we're going to do this, it's the same process. So where you see, oops, let me get that glue off. Let's have a look. Yeah. So where you see the one up here, the one slightly lower down, then you go down here. So then you're forming that triangle again. The triangle shape doesn't have to be straight, you know. You can have the triangle shape slightly offset. It doesn't have to be too straight, but as long as you can see that triangle shape, you could twist the triangle shape this way or the other way. So now I've brought from the top and we've brought this salvia down. So there's the other one here and here. So we'll go down here. Because again, we're bringing it down the bottom. I think I need 4, I'm not sure. I've got here and here. So go underneath, add it down here. And this is just so that then the salvia is all flowing. Yeah, I needed another one. Why did I just have 3? So let me just turn. So we've got here, here and here. So we're going to want one down here again. So now we've got our salvia all around from top down to bottom. So we don't need no more salvia. So I've got these, rest of these laurel. Oh, I've just pulled something off. Oh, some are single leaves. Right, so I've got 2 of these. So I'm just going to put one as depth here, this side, and use it as depth inside, like that. But I'm going to go directly opposite. And if you've noticed, I've gone in between these here. So I brought this one slightly, oops, I've just pulled that up, slightly further up. So again, then we've got our triangle positioning. Let me just glue that back on, wherever it, oh gosh, where did it come from? Ah, there. There we go. And then I'm going to go directly opposite, where it's then in between this one and this one. And we're going to go in here as depth. Now I've got single ones on single leaves. I could add just a few of the single leaves because they're big, slightly bigger on some of them. And I'm going to go just adding some around bottom. And I'm going to go just under and just have these sticking out. Again, we want a bit of fuller leaf at the bottom. And we've got 2 left. So where I place the laurel here and here, I'm going to use these 2 and go here and here. Just so then I can cover up some gaps, but also we've got a fuller leaf mixed within on this side. These, because if you look, think of it as a square at the moment, you've got the fuller leaves here and then here. So that's what it's looking like from the top. Isn't that pretty? So we'll just move those out of the way as well. Now I've got our little wild daisies. Again, how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 7. So where you see this, these little cabbage roses here, here and here, I know we've got the white cosmos here, but I'm going to go right up above this one at the bottom and place that here. So if I just show you, and plus it's different texture, different floral, it's smaller, but I'm going to just lean it slightly down. So let's get another one and go above the cabbage rose here. Again, I'm going in at a diagonal position with my stem. And there's that one. We'll go in here as well. And if you realise what I'm doing, I'm going where it's going like the corally pink here, white, pink. Again, breaking up too much of one colour within each other. and then going here as well. So that's added a little more smaller floral. Now I've got 3 of these left. Because I've gone down here near the bottom, around here, I just want to bring these up around the centre. Or I could just go one here, in between, if you say here and here. So here's where I position this one. So again, I'm doing the triangle. So then turn it here and here. So I need one up here. Again, it doesn't have to be immaculately straight, you know, even if it's offset slightly more to this side than it is this side. Don't worry, that's a natural look. So here and here. And we'll place that there. So then there it looks more placed. So I don't need any more of those. I don't really want to put more cosmos in. I think we need a bit of more different green. Oh, I've got some boxwood left, haven't I? The boxwood. I was going to place this in. I want to use this up. I'm determined to use it. So I'm going to go above and with this, because it is spiky, I'm just going to stick it in vertical with this because it's just growing up. So it's growing towards the sun where the light is. So I'm going to place it in, and because it's got more than one leaf on, just spread the leaves around. Again, just play with them, open the leaves up. Let's get them used. I'm going to place some now on the bottom. Again, to use them up. Just pull that too low down. Now I've got these 2 bigger pieces. So I'm going to place one here, and then I'm going to go opposite to that with the other one. Right, so I think we need more of a fuller floral, and I think we need it maybe in white. So you could, I think we've got plenty of the coral in, so we'll not add any more of that colour. So let's just we don't need no more salvia or that fern. We've still obviously got our wispy little bits here, which I would place in at the end, and our fern. So if we keep those out, put the flowers and then to one side. So now we need a bigger head of floral, and if we're going to stay within the peony, oh my good gracious me, one, two, let me just pick this up, guys. I've just dropped some. So if we stay within the peony, and maybe keep the coral ones as the biggest. So then, where you see this bottom one here, I'm going to bring a peony down here. Let's get rid of that glue string. I'm going to bring a peony down here next to it. So at the bottom, you've got one there. I don't know why I've put two bands on these. And let's just take both of them off. So then I'm going to go the other side of here as well. So I'm going to go there. So that's on that side. So I'll move to the next one. I can keep seeing blue strings, everyone. And we're going to bring it close to this floral here. On the opposite side of that one as well. And I need one here on this side of the cabbage rose. Let's get one what's not got too much. There we go. And then I'll bring another one on this side of the cabbage rose, and that's just introducing white floral. I've got a bud there, so I've got one more. So I could use a smaller headed peonies here and introduce a larger head up above. So that's where we've got with that. I've got these two and a bud. I'm just making sure that would have to go there to create. Let me just see. Yeah. I'm going to just place these two. I don't want to put just these two, in the scrap bucket. So let's get them used. And I'm going directly opposite to where I've just placed that one. Get that one in there. I don't know this board. And we'll just position that in the centre with the rest of the single. So you can see now we've got the white floral at the bottom, but you can still see that there's gaps where we need, or we would like to place other floral. Now, hence the reason I've placed the moss in this plant pot. The reason for that is, if it's looking full like this and somebody looks down and looks at it, they don't want to see your foam. So by adding that moss, artificial moss or real moss, it gives it that natural look that you can't, it hides obviously the foam, and also it doesn't look odd that you've got a few gaps, because it is quite a big arrangement. So I think what we need to do is just add, I don't think we need to add in more floral. I think we've got quite a bit of floral. Just, you know, you can add in more greenery or different types of greenery. It doesn't have to be what I'm using. I may add in something else, but I think at the top I may add in 3 Boston fern, just hanging over the sides. And these are wired, so that's fabulous. So I'm going to go and do the triangular position with these, because I'm only wanting to place in 3. So just curve it, because they are wired. Just doesn't matter if it's going over the floral. It is an airy foliage, so it's not blocking the view of the floral. I'll just give it that. I don't know now I might want to incorporate a few more. So where again I've gone with these, to incorporate and bring this down, I'd have to go here in between to create that triangular position again. So let me just go here, bend it slightly over. Again, it's nice to have things sticking out. So here and here, it gives it that movement and that natural look. And then we'll put another one in. So then we haven't just got these at the top, then it's you know, it looks balanced by placing them slightly a little bit further down as well. So that is it. I don't need any more of those. And we are left with these little scraps I've got, where I can just place these throughout. And again, if you want to be adding more floral, then that's fine. You know, whatever you feel you want to add in, whether it's more than what I've placed in or less, that's fine, guys. You know, they'll always look pretty. So I'm just gonna place that one there and have that, and spread it a little so it's not all in a big cluster. Make it look more natural. I've got 2 longer stems there and 4 shorter, so I might put the other 2 in the center. So I'm going to just add that there. Okay, you can barely see these, but they do just add that little bit of wispiness and movement. And here. So we've got those in, and I've got 2 left. Let's see. We'll have these at the top. So I'm just going to cut them down a little bit. Now these stems are not solid either. They've got wire in, but they're not, as you can see, they're very bendy. Very bendy. They're not very strong. But let's see what we can do. See, I can't even cut it. Probably cut better with scissors. So I'm going to go vertical with these. No, it's not going in very well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these with the scissors a bit. Oh no, I can't. It won't cut. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do what I usually do. Place a small pick on the end and put a bit of floor tape around it. And this is just to help so I can get it in, because the wire stems are very weak. So I want something a bit more solid that's going to help it go in. And the same with this one. We'll do the same. We'll just put the tape around. So I've got more of a support and I can push it in better. There we go. Fabulous. And again, just spread them out so they mix in with other foliage and floral. I'm going to go opposite so then it's balanced out as well. And just spread. Like so. So that is all I'm going to place in. There's more than enough in there. This would sit lovely on a big cabinet in your hallway, or on a coffee table, or even on your dining room table, or anything like that. But you know, that would look really, or even in your window, especially if you've got a big bay window, that would look super in your bay window. Obviously, if you wanted it smaller, I would do it smaller if the customer asked. But I like big, guys. I just love big arrangements. So, again, I've got the moss in there. You can see the moss when you look around underneath. You can see the moss. Excuse me. But I haven't made a point of hiding that moss, because moss is also a natural plant. So, you know, it just looks natural through there. But because there's that much there in there, it wouldn't even be noticed that you haven't covered all your gaps. But again, in arrangements like this, you don't have to cover all your gaps as long as you've covered your foam. You can have as much wispy bits in as you like. But also, again, always incorporate a solid leaf as well. Just so it's, unless you just want it all wispy, then incorporate a solid leaf to bounce off of the wispy leaves, or vice versa, for the wispy leaves to bounce off the solid leaf. Because again, as I say, I'm always for the big with the small foliage, and airy with the solid. That makes sense. Airy meaning you can see through it. Solid is like this, you can't see through the leaf. So big with small, airy with solid, rough texture like this with the smooth texture, and also with your floral, big floral with your small floral and also medium, and also incorporate long floral as well with your shorter, if you want, you know, floral, if you want to have in a bit of length, add in something long in the floral as well, and that will incorporate the movement. And also don't worry about having wispy bits, because it's the wispy bits that give your arrangement that more of a realistic and natural look. Because you buy a bouquet of flowers from a florist who's selling real flowers, they always have wispy bits in, and because that adds to the look and it gives it that lovely movement and, you know, beauty. So, or, you know, use the wispy. You don't have to use as many as me, just even if it's a few, but doesn't that look pretty? And also I've got ivy in, but I haven't got long ivy, but you can use it and just bend it around the vase slightly. I didn't want to cover the whole of the vase, but I just wanted to bend a bit around, so a bit of the greenery looks like it's flowing from up here and just slightly coming down the vase, so it's like it's growing. Ivy grows everywhere, up and down, left and right, so it grows in all directions. So just bring a little bit down, whether it be the ivy or something else that you have, that would be great. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Let me just lift up my camera. Isn't that pretty? Makes me want something like that now in my house. Let's just bring it here. I'm going to come back with the camera a bit. And also, if you want to be adding a bow, I mean, I've got the wrong colour here, but you can add just a bow with a few loops and just place them in and around, or you could just get one of your bows, whichever size it may be, and just stick on a little border around the side here and stick it onto your vase, and then just add a little bow here as well instead. Or again, you could just place in one or even maybe two loops and just have them together like that, and just pop them in with the floral as well. Especially if it's a gift, that would be really nice. You could do that. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I'm glad the lady asked me to do a indoor plant pot arrangement. I love doing arrangements. Especially things that sit in your house on a cabinet or something. I love it like that. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you've if you've got a spare plant pot, whether it be ceramic, whether it be tin, plastic, you know, if it's plastic or tin and it's very lightweight, add in a bit, again, some heavier like pebbles or stones at the bottom, or a bit of damp sand. Place it in a bag, tie the bag up with a cable tie, place that at the bottom for the weight, because plastic containers, if you have something like this in, usually with the weight, if you just slightly touch it like that, it will fall over. So, not all the time, but sometimes, especially if you're going high, it just lean over and fall. So just add a bit of weight in as well as your foam and your scraps of foam at the bottom. So, and again, that's another way to get rid of your scraps of your foam. So give it a go in whatever colour you want. I just wanted to do the coral colour. I've got these peonies staring at me directly opposite me, staring at me for weeks, and I just thought, oh, let's do them. I keep looking at the reds and as well, and blues. I keep looking at blues, so who knows. But anyway, give it a go. Even if you want to do it in a rectangular arrangement or you know, container, it's, you know, still the same process with the placement of things. So I may do a rectangular one at some point, just, you know, because I know sometimes how confusing it can be. I know when I first very started and we was doing rectangular ones, I was trying to picture it in my head, the placement, because I'd got used to doing the circular ones, and I, that was great. I mastered it. But when it come to squares, I was fine with the square. But when it came to the rectangular one, I was fine with the corners. It was, what do I do in the middle, on the sides? That's where I got confused and slightly, frustrated with myself. But obviously, I got it in the end. But so we may do a rectangular one and give you the, show you how to place it in down the longer sides. That's if you don't already know. I'm sure a lot of you do. So whatever colours, if you want bright yellow sunny colours in your home, use bright yellow sunny colours, or oranges. Even if you just want greens and whites. Now green's my favourite colour, so I would have green every day. But can you understand why? I was saying this to my husband, why I've set up a new business just selling foliage, because it's green and I love green. I said, so win-win. Obviously when it comes to more of a winter, there'll be glittery things and blacks and for Halloween and things like that. But at the moment with the summer foliage, oh, it's lovely. But have a go, please have a go. Make yourself something for your home and out of your scraps. Dig into those scrap buckets, have a look for odd numbers. Even if you've got even numbers, then you can make it, use them and just place them in like a 4, even in a circular container. Just place the image in your head like it's a square. So you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And that's if you've got even numbered scraps. If you've got odd, fabulous. But again, use your scraps and then you'll be thankful that you get rid. I've just realised this is this is what the hanging basket was on. So please subscribe, share and like. Bring everybody along to come and see how also to make things, plant pot arrangements for your home. And again, you don't just have to use this size of a plant pot. You can use the tall ones, but it's the same principle. I've got plant pots what are really tall like that and slim. You can use those as well, but it's the same principle. So have a wonderful day. Again, please subscribe, share and like. Bring everybody here just to give you some ideas, maybe to make something for your own, mom, dad, aunt, sister, brother, whomever, for their house. Or if you've got a sister or brother who's just moved into their new house, what a great welcome gift. Or if somebody's just had a little baby, you could give them a gift like this for a welcome gift, in baby pinks if it's a girl, or baby blues or yellows or sage green, anything, guys. The world's your oyster. So have a wonderful time, have a wonderful day, take care, God bless you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. And enjoy. I'm sure it will be fabulous. So see you soon. Bye for now. Bye bye. Right, let's just have a quick close up. Oh, have I pressed that button again? I'll tell you if I have, because it's blur. Right, now there is the peonies. Look at that lovely coral colour. These are those wispy, just greenery. They're slightly waxed. There's our Boston fern, our little daisies, wild daisies, our salvia, our little cabbage roses with some added like green and slightly browny tint or tone to the fern that come with them. And then we've got our laurel, some with reds in it. We've got the finer fern as well. We've got our little cream coloured, or they're like a creamy white peonies. Then our cosmos here as well. What else did we place in? I can't remember. Oh, boxwood. There's our boxwood. Here it is. And our boxwood here as well. I think that may be it. But enjoy, guys, and have a wonderful day. Bye for now. Bye-bye.